Welcome back for another edition of London Direct. I'm with Mike and we're going to talk about the so-called Santa Rally, which is just around the corner really. So Mike, this Santa Rally, it's a bit too convenient for me. It gives you something to write about, gives me something to ask you about.
Yeah.
Does it really exist?
The weight of statistics would say yes. We're very much FTSE focused, and that has led me to do my annual data mining, and that shows us over the last 21 years the FTSE has risen in 19 of them. It's a pretty good show. Now, it does range from gains of a paltry 0.3% to impressive gains of almost 8%. The average is around 2. It's a pretty good showing, and there are certain stocks within the index which have got a very good hit rate. Certain among them 17 times up in a December, 15, 14, very many of them around. The gains do again range from 2-3% right up to 7. What we find particularly interesting right now is that the FTSE is the underperformer. We're about 5 to 12% behind the major peers such as the DAX, the CAC, S&P, the Dow Jones, and certain of them have been hitting all-time highs of late. So we do wonder whether, as convenient as it may be, that it actually is the impetus for a bit of a catch-up trade into year-end.
What's the theory? Is it the theory that everyone's more bullish, that everyone's got that good end-of-year feeling? I just don't get what it
There's a mix of that. There's the Santa Rally is that markets do rally into the festive season and into year end, and that's based on a combination of people looking at what's happened throughout the year and jumping on the back of stocks which have done well, and fund managers are famous for this, making sure they're holding what they should be holding at the year end, which just adds to the buying and just sees the market tick up because all those stocks are ticking up. So in some cases it does sound convenient, but it does happen regularly. Not always respectable gains, by which I mean a good few percent, but there are instances where it has delivered quite handsomely. And as I said, with the FTSE having underperformed year to date so far, it does open the door for a bit of a rally towards year end.
Well, as you said, I know you are very FTSE focused, but if we broaden it out, in theory, could you apply this to other markets, other equity markets?
Yep, it does work out. As I said, the FTSE 19 times out of the last 21 years. If we look at the S&P, the Dow, the DAX and the CAC, you're still looking at numbers in the mid-teens. So while it is very much, you can play with the data such. I've taken the end of November close to the end of December close. Some people will focus on the first 3 weeks of December, i.e. the festive run-up. It depends what you look at, but we think that the year-end run-up is maybe a bit more important than just the run-up into Christmas. Don't forget that volumes also tend to thin out as we get to Christmas. People go on holiday, subordinates are left on the desks. The lack of volume around can lead to bigger spreads and prices moving a bit more, which can help prices tick up into the year end as well. So in some cases just exacerbated by the thinner volumes, as well as I said, the window dressing by fund managers and the like.
Yeah, just to finish off, if we look at the real fundamental pictures for the rest of the year, is there that much to be enthused about? I mean, there's still a lot of uncertainties out there, particularly in terms of the Fed, which we know will scale back their QE program soon, whether it's this year or next year, I'm not so sure. But there's still a lot of uncertainty there.
Yeah, and not just the tapering, don't forget all the political headwinds which we've only just come through. Certain of them could come back to bite us from December into January and into February. But for now, tapering, we're still not worried about December, still don't see it being a problem. I think we'll be waiting till Yellen is installed. We've heard her testimony, we know she's laid out how she sees things. It's not very much different to Bernanke, who she's replacing, so we're not expecting a massive change. And for her, and we think the Fed itself, the FOMC, will hold off until she is in place. Fundamentally, the growth we've seen from the US, it was great in Q2, not quite as good in Q3. We wonder whether Q4 might actually be a little bit lighter, in which case it would be a good reason for the Fed to hold off. If anything, going back to the FTSE and potentially Santa Rally catch-up, it's the UK that's shining out with a solid data, which has led to the BOE increasing its growth forecast and, if anything, bringing potentially forward the first rate rise.